Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Call us right now for more help at 866-945-8070. On Zoom, so we're being recorded. Fix your hair. Be careful what you say.
We will be careful. Hi, Gina.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So when you first came on, did you have a sticky over your cam?
No, I have, do you know of an app called WayPay?
Oh, that's interesting. I'd love to see it.
Well, they have like this swag thing. It's just like, it's like a little window. It's a plastic little window box that you can close and open.
Mm-hmm.
Of it. Yeah. I wish I could show you, but it's right over top of my little, it's so cool. And they give it away at trade shows. So if you ever see WayPay if you're at Scaling New Heights or at QuickBooks conference, ask them for one of those. They're the best. It's the best bit of swag I've ever received.
Cool, because I'm still using the old-fashioned Post-it note.
I know. I used to do that. You don't ever want to be unprepared when you just get on video, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Looks like Gracie's using one too.
Oh yeah, does look like a sticky note right there. It's a high-tech world out there.
I just use an old-fashioned turn the camera off button.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't want to take the chance that someone else turns it on.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. I can turn your cameras on.
That's right. And surprise, surprise, here you are.
I did that once to somebody by accident, and she was clearly not prepared to have her camera turned on. I felt really bad. And then I started laughing because it was also really funny. I did that once to somebody by accident. All right, hold on. And we're live with Chata.
Chata.
Financial reporting with AI. All right, again, I forgot to prepare ahead of time and actually write out so I could just copy and paste stuff. But it's 8:03 on Friday, June 8th, 2018. We're officially live. Good morning. Welcome. Happy Friday. Don't forget to flex those muscles, right? As usual, we have but today we have an extra special guest with us because it's Kari. And I'm sorry, I have very bad short-term memory. It's all the drugs I did back in the 60s. Who's your friend again?
It's Haley.
Haley. So, all right, now I will remember that. Haley. Kari and Haley from Chata.ai. We're going to talk about, is it Chata or Chata?
Chata. Like
Chata.
The name is derived from chat with your data. So it's
Chata. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes because we have the same issue with Zapier, and some people say it's Zapier.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's that whole
depends.
A is the first vowel thing. So just letting some more people into the live panel. Elizabeth, I know you're there as an attendee, but I also know that generally you don't want your camera on. So if you want to be added in as a panelist, let me know. And if I added you as a panelist and you didn't want to, just look at the bottom left of your screen. You'll see a little picture of a camera, and underneath it, it says Stop Video. Just bang that Stop Video button, and we won't be able to see you. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let me let Sarah in here. And we're going to dive in pretty soon, pretty quickly. So, Dennis, going back to your question before we went live, I'm still going to play with the theory that it might be faster to import data for bank accounts versus bank feeds. But I think Erica has a point in that if you're keeping up with it, if you're updating your bank feeds daily, weekly, then it doesn't make sense to go to all the trouble and the steps of doing an import, because unless you have a ton of transactions every week, it's going to take 2 seconds really to update a bank feed on a weekly basis, especially if you're taking the time, and it's usually more time up front, less as you go on, to build rules, so that the bank, so that less and less work has to be done to get those bank feeds updated.
So it sounds like it'd be more for a major cleanup project.
Oh, without a doubt, cleanup projects, there's no way I would do anything other than an import because, like I was showing everybody last week, it's much faster and more efficient to code things in a spreadsheet and then, get that imported.
The other question I would have is that do you still use PDF to Excel if you get, statements you have to scan in and then convert?
Yeah, if I need something converted, I use PDF to Excel. In fact, I was just using it this week on something. What I love about PDF to Excel is that it's not just for bank statements. I use it on price lists. I use it on inventory lists that people give me, PDF versions of and tell me they can't get it in a CSV. And Sarah Prevost, by the way, I am trying like heck to add you in as a panelist, and it's just not working. So don't be offended. It's not my fault. It's Zoom's fault.
Mac's fault.
It's whose fault?
Mac's fault. She has a Mac.
Oh, okay. I think we finally got her. There we are. All right. Good morning, Sarah.
Ah, she's in the car. She's driving. Sarah's driving today.
Yeah, so focus on the road. Don't kill your kid. That's a great slogan. Hashtag don't kill your kid today. Real quick before we get into the main event, speaking of testing out things, I'm moving over to a new phone system today.
Good luck.
I've learned, and I've often posted things to this effect on social media, and everybody always agrees, of course, that the faster you get back to somebody, the more likely it is you'll get them as a client, And people always remark, if I get back to them within like 15 or 20 minutes, they invariably will make a comment thanking me specifically for getting back to them so quickly. So I'm moving to a system that includes an answering service. So 24/7, I'm going to have a live person actually answering the phone, even when I'm sleeping. And it's a really cool system. I'm going to actually bring them on here to demonstrate the system. And I actually love it so much, of course, I signed up to become an affiliate because you actually get to create a script so that even though the person answering the phone presumably knows nothing about your business, you get to outline a script for them and tell them essentially based on the types of people who will be calling and the various things they'll be looking for, you get to write up a script and explain to them, well, like in my case, if it's a parent they're asking about training services, then this is what you do. If it's a parent that they're asking about consulting services, then this is what you do, and so on and so forth. So you can give them, and it's all computerized, and they get a tree that the person answering the phone can just click on something. You can even give them instructions where if somebody asks to speak to me, I can say, put them on hold for 10 seconds, tell them you'll check, and then get back to them and tell them I'm in a meeting, right? So I'm always in a meeting. But at least that way you're giving people a feeling like they're getting a live person talking to them. And it's much more likely. So my guess is, and my test with this really, is that I'm going to increase my closing rate with respect to new prospects coming in. We'll find out. And it's pretty reasonably priced. The lowest tier is $150 a month. It goes up from there. And it goes by how many minutes those people are going to be spending on the phone with your customers and prospects, which is similar to my existing plan. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, I'm going to get them on a demo and get my affiliate link all set up and everything because I actually do love this product from what I see so far. So on to the main event. I've invited Kari and Haley, right? Haley and I go way back. I've known her name for about 15 minutes. And I got a demo, and I happened to have a chance to sit down with Kelly, who's the CEO of Chata. We had lunch not that long ago. Super, super solid, good guy. And I'm not just saying that because Kari and Haley are here. I'm saying it because I honestly believe it. And one of the first things I learned about looking at a product is looking at the people in the company behind the product, right? That's as important as the product itself is, and so obviously if I didn't feel very confident in both sides of it, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation today. But I'm excited to have Kari and Haley come on and show us Chata, because all I can tell you is that I was kind of blown away, more than kind of, by what this app can do. It's links to your QuickBooks Online, and what else do you guys integrate with? Of course, most importantly, QuickBooks Online.
Yeah, absolutely. Most importantly, QuickBooks Online was our very first integration, so it's very close to our heart. But just a day or two ago, time flies so fast here.
Crazy.
We just announced our Xero integration. So we're just in beta with Xero, but it's a very solid beta because just the way machine learning works, we're able to offer basically the same level of product to Xero users now. So it was a much easier sort of build for us now that we know from QuickBooks. So if you do have 0 customers, we'd love to have you on board as a 0 beta user. And that would mean an extended free trial of our premium features. Chata.ai is always free, but we do have a premium model that I'm gonna get Haley to tell me the American price is 25. I'm stuck in Canadian dollars.
American is $20 USD.
$20 USD a month for premium features, but we're offering that for an extended period of time on beta. So.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have a question real quick. So if you're stuck in Canadian dollars, does this mean you're a Canadian company?
We are a Canadian company. So yeah. Are you Canadian?
No, I have a lot of Canadian friends.
Yeah, Canadians. We have a lot of American friends too. So we just recently were we're charging in American dollars only, billing in American dollars only, but Canadians really want to see Canadian dollars when they're purchasing or working with an app, and especially being a Canadian app. So we have just figured out how to allow billing in Canadian, Australian, and Great British.
All right, so I have an important question. As long as we're talking about Canada versus U.S., who would win in a fist fight, Trump or Trudeau?
Well, don't ask my opinion on Trudeau. I gotta go for our guy, but I don't know if he wants to get his hair messed up. So.
My money's on Trudeau, though. I think he's just younger and stronger than Trump is.
Yeah.
Anyway, and we also often have Tiffany Stewart on here, and she's usually the first one who asks the question, does it work in Canada? Obviously, you guys work in Canada. So
Having some trouble with our audio, so I'm going to go get a microphone for us.
Okay, I can hear you fine. I did have to crank up the volume a little bit, and then I had to crank it back down because it got really loud. When Jan came in, the chime was like, I think I lost a few points in my hearing levels.
Oh, yeah,
It was not Jan's fault. Again, that's Zoom's fault. I blame Zoom for everything.
Gina, can you hear me okay, or was there too many?
No, you sound good to me. Elizabeth in the chat says, barely audible, not enough to understand. When she was talking to Gina earlier, she was fine, but not now. But I think we're fine again. So, Elizabeth, let us know if it's still no good. But you sound fine to me.
And just to also clarify, I've got Haley managing the chat too. So if anyone wants to ask questions while we're presenting, please do. We prefer to present in a discussion format, so feel free to interrupt.
Okay. Do you want people not to interrupt you by voice? Or either way?
Whatever works.
Okay, because we do tend to interrupt in this group. We'll just
love that. Good. Let's do it.
Straight up cut you off and be like, look, there's a squirrel outside that I can't see through my shade, but I know it's out there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell us a little bit about Chata. Of course, I want to do a demo, but first let's talk about it. What is it? Where did it come from? Why did you guys create it?
I've got a little presentation. Do you mind if I bring that up?
Not at all. Let's do it. Do you know how to share your screen?
I do, I think.
Yep, just the green button at the bottom.
Let's go. Well, hopefully I don't have anything embarrassing on here.
Yeah.
All right. So I just got to figure out, I'm a highly not technical person in a technical world here. So let me just, I think I pressed this button. There we go. Okay, so this is Chata.ai. And so at Chata.ai, our goal is to democratize access to business data. So basically what that means is there's a lot of data out there, and there's a lot of data in the accounting world. And I think the stat is we've collected more data in the last couple years than we have ever in the history of the world. So we have a lot of information, and there's a lot being captured, but we really, it's not as easy for business owners, accountants, and bookkeepers to really easily tap into that data. So what Chata.ai does is it makes it super easy. It's a conversational analytics and reporting tool. So you can ask questions in your natural language and get immediate answers. So I'll just quickly walk you through. I've got a video. I think you've seen this, Seth. Do you want me to play?
I remember this one. The guy with the dog. Yeah.
Yeah. it's just it's a quick, a minute and a half, and it gives a quick overview.
Let's do it. I love videos.
Yeah, it's it makes it easier and more fun.
Just make sure your volume's really cranked up because Elizabeth's saying she's still having trouble hearing. I hear you fine. I mean, it's a little low, but I can hear you.
I'll try and talk closer to my mic too. So.
Okay, yeah, I think that'll
You
help.
rely on data to understand your business, whether it's revenue forecasts, cost calculations, or supply chain intelligence. Data helps you understand how you're performing so you can make good decisions, grow your business, and get more done. But here's the thing. Even with today's technology, getting answers from your data isn't always that easy, right? Sometimes you simply can't find what you need. It can also take a long time to analyze and calculate information, and sometimes mistakes are made. And while you're spending your day fighting all these issues, you could be doing other things, like growing your business. But don't worry, the days of fumbling through multiple spreadsheets and tricky technology are over. Getting answers about your business just got insanely easy, thanks to Chata.ai. Chata.ai is your conversational analytics assistant that helps you access, search, and analyze your data. Just ask your questions and get immediate answers. Visualize results by asking for charts and graphs. Drill down for deeper insights. React quickly from wherever you are. Data interaction is now as simple as having a conversation, so you can spend less time searching endlessly for answers and more time getting work done. Connect to Chata.ai today and start chatting with your data. Be the first to chat with your data. Get your invite.
All right. I'll just go back to my presentation. Where is it here?
Perfect.
Yeah, so like I said, our mission is to really democratize data access. And what that means is we want to give everyday people easy access to answers from their business data. And what that means to accountants and bookkeepers as well is it makes it easier for you to do a different type of reporting to your small and medium-sized business. So we'll kind of go over that as well. A little bit of background on Chata.ai. I was the employee at Chata, and we've been in production officially for just over a year now, and we're moving very fast. We're based in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, so there's our little Canadian side there. And we've been working really closely with payroll advisors and influencers and accountants and bookkeepers that are with QuickBooks Online ecosystem. So we've been to pretty much every QuickBooks Online conference, both here, we've been to San Jose last year, and then we're also in the UK and Australia. So we're really getting to know the ecosystem, and we really strongly believe that we need the insights of accountants and bookkeepers to build this product to the best possible way. So like I said, we've just recently integrated with Xero with our beta, and the next step is going to be working with other domains. We'll likely do a few other accounting platforms, but we'll also be looking at like POS systems like Square, for example. And the beauty of that is you and your customers will be able to chat with their POS data in conjunction with their accounting data. So that's our goal. Oh, and I just also want to say that we just threw our hat into the ring for the showdown, which is happening at QuickBooks Next San Jose. So we're really super excited about that. So hopefully we'll see a few of you there. So like I said, Chata.ai is a simple to use conversational analytics and reporting tool that does your data dirty work. So what that means is we eliminate the need to export data, pull information from multiple different areas of the system in order to get an answer to a simple question. And we'll show you during the demo what kinds of questions you can ask, but we've trained our system with thousands of different types of questions. So you can ask, because it's machine learning and it's artificial intelligence background, you can ask questions in your own words, and we will typically be able to find you an answer if that type of question has been trained. So it's very, very powerful. What this means, some of the benefits to your clients is they get reporting. We've talked to a lot of small and medium-sized business owners about their relationship with their financial data. So they typically will get their financial statements, and most business owners find it difficult to make day-to-day business decisions based on those financial statements. They have questions that they need answers to on the day-to-day about their sales, about their expenses, about their invoices. And they'll typically, it's not easy for them to get those answers. So what Chata allows them to do is they get answers about their business anytime from anywhere. So we are just working on our mobile application. We'll be doing an announcement about that as well. So they imagine being able to get answers about your sales in like being able to ask the question to your phone and getting an answer right away, and then being able to report that and send it to your client. So it's pretty powerful. Like I said, no math required. I know you guys probably all love doing math, but do your clients love doing math? Probably not. And then it's just really super easy to use. And like I said, it's free to use. We can get you connected and you can start asking questions literally in minutes. So that is really powerful because most reporting tools or BI tools take a long time to learn and implement. And this literally takes no time.
Wait, did you say it's free to use?
It's free. Yeah.
How do you guys make money?
We have a premium version, so
Oh, okay, got it.
I'll show you that version. So, and the reason that it's so important for us to have a free model is because in order to improve our machine learning, we need users using the system because we learn as you ask questions. So that's one of the main values to us. We want people using it, right? So we can continue to train and grow the product. So like I said, we talked to a lot of small and medium-sized business owners, and that's how we conceptualized the idea of Chata.ai. Kelly was the CFO at his previous company, and he talked to a lot of SMBs before he started Chata.ai to validate the idea. So basically, business owners need information on the day-to-day about how much money they're making, how much they're spending, who they owe money to, and who owes them money. Those are sort of the standards. So Chata.ai lets you ask like any type of question in those areas. So these are just a sampling of questions. Like I said, we've trained well over 3,000 now questions, and we continue. And that's types of questions. So if the question here you see, what are my top 5 products by total revenue? You may ask that in a slightly different way, and we should be able to answer that question as well.
And is it like Google Voice or Siri where it kind of learns you the more you use it?
Yeah, like I said, we train. So in the back end, so if you were to ask a question, first of all, it's all based on however you set up your QBO system. So you'll have different value labels, so it will already know your language model, which is actually way more powerful than Siri. Because Siri doesn't know your current language model. We know when you connect your data, we know all of your different like customer labels or any value label that you've set up. You can ask a question about that immediately.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
What happens if it doesn't know the answer?
So if that does happen, absolutely, and that's important. So if you have the data in the system and we've trained the questions, so like any of the questions you've seen here, if you have the right data that matches that, then it will be able to answer that. But if it's a question that you have not trained, like Seth was talking about before, when he wants to get back to his customers immediately, we have that same theory about our customers. So we have our developers look at all of the queries that come through that do not work, and we work on training the system, those questions. So if you're one of our customers, Haley is actually on our customer success team. She'll look into this issue and get back to you likely by the next day or within the next couple of hours to let you know if we've been trained. We've trained it. So it's highly likely that question, if it's possible for us to train, then we can get that working for you immediately.
I have another question.
Also, within a few minutes of you asking the question that Chata can't answer, 2 men in black suits will knock on your door. Don't answer the door.
I have another question. So for example, say you get a response, but you want to do more drill down on it. Do you have like a tool that you can manually intervene and do something with the data, or do you have to ask more questions?
No. Well, I'm going to show you. We just actually, that's some really great feedback that we got from the people who've been working with us since the beginning. So we can do drill downs now. So you can do either, though.
So, and this may be really asking the same thing a different way, I'm not sure, but so can you do kind of incremental queries where I ask one thing and then the next question I ask is, well, I guess it is, then you're asking it to go deeper into what it just gave you. Yeah, so.
Yep, totally.
Okay.
So let me you guys are already getting to the system, so I'll just quickly breeze through the rest of this presentation so we can start looking at it, because I think I'm most interested.
Yeah, we want to get right into the meat.
Yeah, definitely. So I just want to make it clear. So the tool is a really good tool for small and medium-sized business owners, but we are really keen to make this extremely valuable for accountants and bookkeepers first. So we fit into that value pricing model. I'm sure you've all heard that ad nauseum before. We really are a good fit for that. Once you have good data in, so if you're using tools like Receipt Bank and HubDoc, this is a really good tool to add on to the customer the good data out, and the good information that they need. And then we're also adding practice management features for accountants and bookkeepers. So one of the ones that we have upcoming is, can you remind me what it is?
Pin sharing?
No, the practice management one.
Oh,
we had on there.
Yeah, so reconciliation is one that we should be able to handle soon.
Yeah, so if you have reconciled your books like the day before and your client, or maybe a couple days before, and your client signs in a couple days later, they want to know when those books have been or when that information is most relevant. So we'll be adding a date to that. So I'll talk about that when we look at the system. Just quickly, behind the scenes, everyone has questions because it is AI and it's fairly fresh to the accounting ecosystem. So we have built a proprietary natural language understanding engine and a dynamic query builder. So it's a system that we've built in-house, which means it's so much more powerful than anything you can technically get off the shelf. So it really is state of the art. But what's really important to us is that you know that it's not just a machine, it's a really super passionate group of people, and we're happy to call ourselves nerds. That's why we fit in so well with you. But yeah, we've got a really good thing going on here. So we've got, like I said, I was the second employee, and we've got 20 people working here in Calgary now, and it's some really super smart developers and customer success people. So we're very proud of the team behind the machine. So,
And I just saw more evidence of the whole Star Wars thing. I don't know if you'll notice, but there's definitely a Star Wars theme in here. One of the questions was about sales from Han Solo, and I just saw 2 Stormtrooper cupcakes in one of those pictures. You got to pay attention here.
Yeah, Haley made those cupcakes. What was the day?
Those look awesome. The next time I come to Canada, I want some Stormtrooper cupcakes.
We'll whip those up
On
for
May
you.
the 4th, aka Star Wars Day, I made cupcakes for the team.
Yeah, our CEO is very passionate about Star Wars. So.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hop out of here and hop over here. All right, so this is the system. So I'm gonna sign into my account. Pretend this is you.
And Kari, I know that you can type in the questions, and I forgot, I think I had asked you this last time you were showing this to me. Does it do voice too, like with the mobile app, where I can verbally ask the questions? It does, right?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that that's not our technology. That's actually iOS technology. So if you were...
Oh, so it's just using the normal keyboard transcriber. Okay, got it.
So it's not our tech, but it absolutely, you can do voice to text, right? Anyone can use that. So it's exactly the same idea.
Is there an Android mobile app?
Yes, we are testing that as well. So stay tuned. I'll be doing an announcement on that, and we would love to have you guys using that as well. So it'll also be free for the free version. So it's included as part of your package.
And I just want to say that Haley's doing an amazing job in the chat.
Good.
I'm watching.
I'm glad she's doing something there. Okay, so
All right, let's do this. Let's ask some questions.
yeah, so first off, I'm going to just give you a little bit of background of what we're looking at here. So this is a company that we actively feed data to. So we've got our bookkeeper adding expenses and invoices. So it's like a pretend. It's an actual QuickBooks Online account, and we also have a Xero account, as you can see here. And it's a plumbing company that has both services and products. So we can show you how you can query different types of questions. So this is our main interface, and we give you a few recommendations of what kinds of questions you can ask. There's also a little button down here, our hamburger menu, what we call this, and you can just press Ask Chata.ai, and it's kind of like a randomizer. So if we just press that, you can ask a question, and if you have the right data in there, it'll bring it back for you. So it's kind of fun to use Ask Chata.ai and just randomize questions, because it gives you a really good sense of what you can ask. But I'm just I'll first start, if you're interested in seeing what's in the data set and making sure, this is kind of like a validation question. So if I want to make sure all of my customers or my data is accurate here, I would say all customers. And you can ask this about all products, all services. So as you can see, it comes up with my full list of customers. And then any sort of information that we have attached to that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And then I'm going to ask, I'll just run through a couple simple queries so you can just get an idea. So I'm going to, because I'm the owner of a plumbing company, I'm really super keen to know sales are key. So I'm going to ask all sales from last year. And as you can see, recommendations come up. And somebody was asking if this, or Seth, I think you asked if like Siri, it learns about you. So yeah. This, as you can see, it says all boiler sales. So it's coming up with recommendations based on the value labels you have in your system. So this will, you have your system set up with different customers and different products. It'll immediately give you recommendations based on those. So I'll say all sales from last year.
By the way, we have a special guest making a very rare appearance.
So cute.
He just came over. He's like, I want to check out Chata.
Awesome.
You've all met Ralphie. This is the world famous Ralphie who's in all my photos.
Hi, Ralphie. Yeah, we saw him with a tie on.
Wake up, Penny.
So cute. As you can see, we've got all of our sales. So because I asked last year, it's given me everything from 2017. So we could have asked this year, it would have given me everything from 2018, and it's given me all the details on those transactions. So I'll ask now, compare total sales per month for the last 3 months.
So somebody was asking in the chat about comparatives. This is your answer.
So, scrolling it here. Okay, so it's showing the comparison both in a dollar value and a percentage of change. So as awesome. The last 3 months, March, April, May. Somebody else asked about drill downs. So I could click on May. Oh, my drill down's not working. This one.
Can you do it verbally and just ask Chata, give me the drill down on May?
Not on our desktop system.
Okay.
So I'll just run through a couple more queries. I'll do top 5 products by total revenue. And then I'll show you some charting options too.
And then I have one that I want to try. You know how I like to break these things.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so I'll show you. So there's top 5 products by total revenue. So that, because I didn't identify like a time, or like I didn't say last year or this month or whatever, it's giving me everything that's in the system. So over the course of my business. So I can also chart anything. So I'll put that into a pie chart so I can get that visualization right away.
That's really cool. And how easy to send that to somebody? Like if I want to just send that pie chart to my customer.
It's really easy. I can't see. I've got this. I got to just.
Oh, you can move that out of the way. There's a little thing at the top that lets you kind of shrink it.
Okay, so just over here.
Oh, so you download it and then send it?
Yeah. So, okay, so I just clicked, before we get to that, I just want to show you drill downs because somebody had a question about that. So I had clicked on air conditioner. This is our top selling product. And it's given me, when I clicked on that part of the pie, it's given me all of the sales for air conditioners and all of the details. So I think that hopefully that answers your question, Dennis. That's one way that you can drill down.
By the way, when you lean forward, your sound got much better. So yeah, it is just being closer to the mic.
Thank you. Okay, so as far as downloading this now, you can just go over here to the top right corner and hover over. Say save chat image, and it comes down here as a PNG. We'll just click on that. And you can just quickly drop that into your PowerPoint presentation or send it off by email.
That's
Super.
Awesome. So just as a best practices kind of thing, everybody, what I would do is if you're wondering like what would Seth do, I would download this and click on each part of the pie chart to get the details, download each of those and send the whole thing to the client. Because you know they're going to ask you that. So anyway.
Definitely. I'll show you how to send a report too, because I think that'll be more useful. I'll just a couple more queries. I'll do top 10 customers by revenue this year. So there we go.
It'd be nice is if you, when you start typing top 10, a whole bunch of things pop up instead of having to type all the way to this year.
Yeah, I always do the typing in the demo, but you can absolutely do that. I do the typing just so you know that you can also, like, it's not just preset questions. It's super important to know you can add
to the suggested.
Yeah. So
sentences.
I could do top, let's do top.
It said top 10, but it didn't see how it says customers by. Now I would have to click top customers by.
Yeah, and then
revenue, and then keep typing. It's faster, just type out the whole sentence, isn't it?
But you can also save these. Kari hasn't shown us yet, but you can save some of these searches so that you can, that'll save a lot of time doing that kind of stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I also want to just quickly show you, it's really important sometimes, especially as your queries get a little bit more complex to validate them sometimes. So you want to know how Chata.ai has interpreted your question, because you've asked this question in your own language. So if you scroll over here and you go to report a problem, so sometimes you might think that Chata's gotten it wrong. If you click on that, it will tell you how Chata has interpreted that question. So in this case, I asked top 5 customers by revenue. So Chata has interpreted that as top 5 total sales per customer. So it's accurate. So that's just one way if you're curious about the interpretation, which lots of people are as they dig into the system. You need to be able to trust that the answer is accurate. So I'm going to show you, I'll just do one more because I really love this one. Average days to pay per customer. Days. There. So this is something that would take quite a bit of time to drill out of your accounting software, and we just go and get that for you, and you can chart that. So put that in a column chart, and it gives you a really good visual as to who your problem customers are, who you might want to, what customers you might want to fire. And
can you send that notification right from here?
Sorry?
I was just being funny. Can you send that notification right from here?
Yeah.
Sorry, you're my worst customer according to my Chata app, so you got to go.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Do you integrate with Zapier?
Pardon me?
Do you integrate Zapier?
Not yet. Where would you want to connect Zapier with?
Well, it's like Seth was joking, sending out an email to people you're going to de-hire.
Well, I'll show you. You can do that straight from Chata. So first off, you can add a comment. So over here, we'll just say, "You're fired."
The road jack.
You're fired. Speaking of Trump.
So you're sharing this with someone. Oh, we got some music in the background.
Yeah, this episode is so good. It has background music.
Okay, so quickly I'm going to show you how to share a report. So typically accountants and bookkeepers, what we're recommending is you send reports like this on a regular basis to your customers, and this gives you the ability to give them advice. So you can say, you should be looking at this customer who is regularly not paying you on time or focusing on certain products or whatever advice you want to give. But you want to be running sales reports either every week or every month. So I'm going to save this as a template. So imagine every query that entered here is a regular report that you want to send to your customer. So I would go save template, and this is our sales report. There's a lot of questions over there.
Oh,
Haley.
yeah.
So you can see over here in the left sidebar, sales report has been saved. So I'm going to click on that. So imagine now I come back a month later and I want to run this report. So I go, I'm just going to get out of my current system. So as you can see, every query that I've asked in our session here has been saved as a template, but they're blank. So the idea is you come back in a month, your data has all been updated because you've done a bunch more entries. So all of these queries are going to be different from what we just saw. So we want to run on today's data. So all the questions are set, and we just go over here and we press play. And it will run all of those queries. So now you want to, so we see we've got everything that we just asked based on today's data. Now we want to send this to our customers as a sales report. So I'm going to go save report, and I'm going to say June sales report. Create. And it will come up here underneath reports. There we are. So I'm going to go into my June sales report, and this is where I recommend you add comments in your report. So as you can see now, this data has been date stamped. So it says created by Kari Viccars on June 8th and the time. And now I want to add a note to my customer because I'm going to send this to them by email. So I'll say, Steve, let's discuss. Save. And you can do that. You can put anything into charts and graphs if you haven't already. And then I'm going to send this off. So I'm going to go to that report, June sales, and I'm going to press the share report button. So your customers who you've included in your Chata account, we've got a lot on this account. So you can just click who you want to send to and just go share. I'm not going to press it because then it'll go to my whole team, but so off goes an email, and the important thing to note is that this email is branded to your company. So if you go into settings, you can upload your logo. So it's not coming from Chata, it's coming from you.
Got it. And so you can add your clients, obviously, into the people who are part of the team. And
What you mean by you is the owner of the QuickBooks file, not us.
No, because you're sending this report from your company. I'm assuming, Sarah, that you're an accountant or bookkeeper, and you want to send this report to your customer, right? So you're giving advice and a little bit of added value to your customer in your comments, the details of their business. So you want this coming from you. So
we have a choice. So we could have separate accounts for each QuickBooks QBO account, but then brand it as us so that we're the ones that are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the whole idea is to have like you providing added value to your customer, right? And it's giving you like more insight into their business as well, right? So it's a super, super easy way to explore your customer's business data and really get you in that place of trusted advisor. So do you want me to show you quickly how to connect a data source? Because it's super, super simple. And I think that's from what we've heard, especially with business intelligence tools, like I said, it's difficult typically to set up, and we've really streamlined the process.
Before you do that, I have one quick question on like querying data and how deep it goes in terms of, you know, what level. Like you have, you know, different levels of data. Like I was having a conversation with somebody from another company and a totally different app yesterday, and he was talking about how their app accesses what he called level 3 data, meaning it gets down to the real details, like an item that was sold and its quantity and how much it's sold for. So what I'm wondering in the context of what we're looking at here is if I can run a query, and I'm sure you can test it, that basically asks, can you show me sales by customer and within that by product?
Yeah. So let's do total. Oops. Okay, so total sales per customer. This is really the power of the system, I would say, Seth, because this is exploring, right? So
right, and now I want to know within each customer what products.
So let's do all sales to, let's pick on Billy Joe here. This is a Mac issue. It does that to me. It's like a phenomenon. All sales to Billy Joe.
Are you guys like Green Day fans, or is that just random?
That's random. We're not Justin Bieber fans either. Yourself.
So this shows me the invoice, but how do I see the product that they actually bought?
Let's say, well, you can ask about a certain product. So what's the question that we could ask?
Boilers.
Yeah.
But what if you don't know what products they bought?
Yeah, like I just want to see all the sales to Billy Joe, and I want it broken down by product. Yeah.
Sorry, that was another Mac thing there.
No worries.
Okay, so let's go all
sales by customer and product. Can you do like an and kind of expression?
Let's try this one.
Okay.
So there we go. So I said all sales per product to Billy Joe. So here's all of the sales items. And I think we can do drill downs on this. Let me just check. Drill downs are really new to us. So I'm going to click on that.
Is one of those options the date range?
Yeah.
Well, and I was just going to ask, can you have it total it by month? Like show me sales for January alongside February alongside March.
Oh, and monthly columns. Can you define the columns? How powerful is your bot?
All sales per product.
Per product to Billy Joe, totaled by month. All right, so it looks like in this case we just had one sale each in March and February, but it's not showing the amount.
So, yeah, sorry, you just got to scroll over.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So let's just dig down a little more. We could say all sales to, like, if I was going to into a meeting with Billy Joe and I wanted to know how much that person has bought from me over the last month.
Mm-hmm.
All sales. Slow down here.
So while you're working on this, I have a question while you're talking about last month. And I don't know if you can hear me very well, but
I can hear you.
We have predefined like last month, last week, year to date, that kind of thing. So my question is, can you find like random dates? Like I want to know sales for like the last 4 weeks or the last 2 days. You know, these are things that you're not typing in a date range, but you're just kind of saying last. Can you do something
It's
like
a
that?
relative range is what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can technically. It's difficult for me to show that because I don't know that we have invoices for the last 2 days. So I can try it. Let's see.
Well, like last 4 weeks would be perfect.
Or last 6 months.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think for me, sometimes like we want to do like a rolling budget, you know, like the last 4 weeks.
Right. No, but I think she's saying she may not have recent weekly data in this set.
Oh, I get it completely. But I'm just saying that's huge to me rather than typing in dates.
Right. And sorry, Dennis, I muted you. You were hacking hard on that keyboard.
I know, Dennis. Do you have a keyboard left?
Like killing those keys.
So yeah, so I just asked all sales per product for the last 4 weeks. I'll just validate that.
So it doesn't break it down weekly. It just gives you theoretically what the total was for the total for the 4-week period.
Got it.
Exactly. I think if you do the drill down, it should work. My drill down, sorry, are somewhat slow today for some reason. But I just clicked on the hot water tank. So it will tell me all of the transactions in that amount. So you could say all sales per product for the last week. Where we get there. Got something funky going on here.
And I'm curious, just taking this a little different direction, because I'm thinking, let's say I just want to get kind of a linear data dump so I can, let's say, export it to a CSV file and run a pivot table. I know that kind of goes away from what you're trying to do, but just in terms of layout, can we try a query like, give me a transaction detail report for January through May, or a general ledger detail report kind of thing?
We're not currently doing general ledger.
Okay.
We are working on being able to pull the actual invoice. So if you were to drill down, you can get like a visual of that invoice.
Got it.
No, it's not. This is not a financial statement analysis tool.
Gotcha.
But not to say it won't be, because we're definitely eager to help you with practice management. So that may be something that we add to our roadmap.
Sure. How long has Chata been around? How long has it been since you started?
Yeah, so well, Kelly started just in January 2016.
Okay.
So we've been in production as a team for just over a year and a few months.
Got it. I love the little icons too, so it's clear like where your query is and where the result is.
Yeah.
All right, you were going to show us connecting the data source. I wanted to, before we got away from running queries, I wanted to ask this question. Look at that.
So you've already set up your accounts here, which is super easy. You just fill out a quick form with your contact info, and you get an email that asks you to validate, and then you'll get pushed into the system. Now you need to connect your data source. So imagine if I hadn't done that already. I would just click over here on Connect Data Source. So choose this is already chosen. I could do, if I wanted to add a client, I could add, so one of you guys probably have multiple QBO accounts that you have access to. So this is where you would enter client X. And then you have the option, if you want your client, if you've already introduced Chata.ai to your client and you want to get them using it right away, you enter their name and email and they'll get it right away. But you can also do that later if you're keen to dig into the data on your own before you introduce them.
Can you see what your clients are asking? I mean, are you notified as to what the, a query? Do you get a notification? Client A asked this question on such and such date.
That's a good idea.
Really good insight.
That's a really good idea.
We're working on, that's what we call query insights, and that's definitely on our roadmap because we've got a lot of certain more advanced QBO users who have been asking for that, because I think that's super important for you.
Because that seems to me where you'd be adding value to your client is that, you know which questions to ask or which directions to go based on the result.
I agree 100%.
Well, yeah, especially if I know what questions my client's asking, I can actually do some digging of my own and prepare information for them because I know this is what they're interested or wondering or worried about.
Yeah, be proactive, yeah.
And we've also had one of our users ask, he wants to know, because he's got a very large team of bookkeepers and accountants working for him, he wants to know that his bookkeepers are for their clients. So,
wait, you cut out on your audio, so I didn't hear the last part.
Sorry, he wants to know what his accountants and bookkeepers on his team are asking for his clients. Because
Ooh, and can you query the audit log? Can I ask it like to let me know who logged in and when?
Oh,
not right now, but I'll definitely put that on the list of feedback stuff.
yeah, like, has anything been deleted in the last 30 days?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, from a fraud standpoint.
Sure.
Yep.
So I'll just quickly show you. So the quick connection to QuickBooks Online. So you literally just select QuickBooks or Xero, whatever you're looking to connect with.
Select QuickBooks. No, I'm just kidding.
And then your data source is the name of the file within QuickBooks Online. So it's typically the same as your organization name. So we would just call it Plumbing Co. And then we would press connect to QuickBooks. So I'll just say okay. And then it'll take you to the QuickBooks interface. I don't know if it's going to do that. Oh yeah, it's connecting right now. So I don't have access to our account, so I can't show you further than there, but I'm sure you've seen this.
But it looks pretty straightforward. It's a typical when you link an app with QuickBooks Online, you're just going to choose which company you want to link it to and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
So we're winding down. Believe it or not, time flies when you're having a blast. But so I want to make sure one important thing gets covered. I know you said it's free to use, and then there's a premium version. So what is the difference? How much does it cost? And what about partner pricing, like for accountants kind of
Yeah,
thing?
I'll bring up our partner program here. So the cost in, can you bring up our website?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Haley's typing. I'll bring up our website here. If that makes more sense. Just give me 1 sec.
Sure. And by the way, in the chat, just for the record, we have a comment here that says freaking awesome product.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gracie.
I didn't tell her to write that.
I hope you can start using it today. Okay, so I'll just go to our pricing section here to give you the visual. So this is our return on investment calendar. So if you want to know how, our calculator, if you want to know how quickly it'll take you to recoup the cost of a premium account, you can enter in your hourly rate. So in this case, it's $100 an hour. So your cost, your investment in Chata is recovered in 12 minutes, which I think is important to know. So this is our pricing. This is American dollars. Like I said, we've just added Canadian, US, or
Are you sharing your screen? I can't
Yeah, we're not
see
seeing your screen anymore. Your screen sharing turned off.
Oh, no.
You know what? I do that all the time to people.
How embarrassing.
I'm notorious for that.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
See the Chata guy? Okay, cool. Chata guy, Chata girl. So this is a list of our features. So it's $20 per month per user, and that's American dollars, and that's paid on an annual basis.
Mhm.
So, and that's
Is there a monthly option? Some people just like to part with less money at one time. So, okay.
we want to do.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So obviously it's going to cost a little more on a monthly basis.
Yeah,
Yep.
24 per month per user, no commitment. So, and everything as you can see here is free. So if you want to use the system free and use this for querying, where it comes to paid is where we get into the reporting and workflow tools that I showed you. So like template, reporting, pins, which I did not show you, but you can basically pin a query, and so you can talk about it later with the customer. So those are the paid features, and you get a 14-day free trial. Everyone gets that free when they start. So, and then partner program. I'm just going to go back to my slide here. So we do have a partner program based on feedback from the wonderful partners that we've been working with since day one. So we do have special pricing, and it's but we've recently released it. So we are giving 25% off to our partners for your clients. So you can offset if you want to put a package together for your client, you pay 25% less than the regular fee. So a few of our partners actually have a model where they're making some decent money every month with apps. Your personal premium account becomes free once you sign on 5 additional accounts. We have additional support channels for our partners. So we have a Slack group. Does anyone here use Slack?
Every client.
Slack is super awesome because our CEO and our VP love using Slack. So if you ask a question.
Now wait, that would be an interesting integration, is to be able to run queries in Chata and send it into a Slack channel where I have a Slack workspace shared with a client, or a Zapier could do it.
I think I'll definitely take that feedback. I agree. I think that would be super cool. And I don't think that would be too difficult to implement. It's just a matter of currently at this stage in our company focus on accounting software, but for sure those things are coming.
So I have a question. So if I just want to try this out with say a client and just sort of, can I just connect him to this and that we're using, or do I have to involve him?
Oh, sorry. Do you want to check out his account without inviting him?
Well, I mean, not necessarily that, but I mean, if I had, do I have the ability, or do I?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you go to connect the data source, you get the option to invite your clients at that time or not. And because you have access to his QuickBooks Online account, you can go and use Chata with his data without inviting him.
Okay. And you can do that on the free, I mean, you can do that for several clients on the free version. I mean, I'm just thinking of trying it out and seeing if they might be interested in it.
Absolutely, and that's what I highly recommend you do. You can try it out, and we give you 14-day free trial for each account for premium features, so you can try out those reporting tools on them too. So my recommendation is you go in there and send them reports during that free trial to see if they're getting value out of that.
So the process would be we go to the Chata website, sign up, and then do we download anything? Or I'm assuming we don't download anything, do we? Or we just...
No, you don't download anything. It's all in the cloud.
Okay.
So every time you go to use it, it's just app.chata.ai, and you sign in, and you can go to our website, and there's a sign-in area there as well.
What about the security? I mean, are you complying with all these different certifications?
Absolutely, and you can see all of our security information in our terms and conditions. We have a security page on our website if you want to dig into that more, but that's not only ethically as a company, that's extremely important to us, but also obviously there's parameters around being in the cloud. Also, we just got onto the QuickBooks Online App Store, and they do a very solid security review. So being on that App Store is very good validation to our security measures as well. So
I'm assuming there's no plans of migrating this to desktop. I mean,
you know, we've talked about it. It's definitely a possibility, but we really feel strongly that there's a big push from Intuit to move their users into the cloud, and hopefully they'll be adding more features with every API release. So I think the cloud is just based on our limited resources is where we're staying for now. But if we do get a strong enough call for desktop, we'll certainly consider it, because it's
when I had lunch with Kelly, we talked about that a little bit. And my, for what it's worth, guidance advice to him was, don't waste your time and resources on desktop, because it's just a matter of time before it's completely deprecated.
Before they pull the plug or sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have 5 to 10 years before we see that day, I still don't think it's worth it for an app developer to put resources into something that has a limited shelf life. You know, it's just not worth it.
Challenging decision, because there still is a lot of the QuickBooks audience or users are on desktop, and my understanding is there's more functionality in desktop, but that we would like to help with. But it's
have you done a demographic study as to who's buying QBO? I mean, if it's a older demographic group for QuickBooks Desktop, then I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it.
That was going to be my next point. Is if you look at the demographics of who's still in desktop, there are exceptions. I know that some people are still limited because they need functionality that's in desktop, but they can't get QuickBooks Online. Sarah Laidlaw is a good example of that, where she's nonprofits and needs a lot of detailed information, especially around payroll. And there's no good apps yet that work with QBO that allow labor job costing or make it easy to do, right? I mean, that's primarily the biggest hurdle, right, Sarah?
And we get Sarah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but short of that, I would say and I'm just taking a guess at this, but I would say if you study the demographics outside of the few exceptions like Sarah, you're probably going to find that most of the people who are still on desktop are what you would call laggards, slow to adopt new technology, which means they're not even going to get this kind of technology that Chata sort of represents. So again, it would be another argument making the case for not bothering with desktop at this point.
I'd call them near future retirees.
Right.
I think our model is like we're giving you answers on the go, right? So it's best used with people who are into the cloud model, to be honest, and it's a really good fit with the value-based pricing idea. So I think that it's like it just makes more sense for us. So.
Well, this is incredible, Kari, Haley. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us and showing us this app. It is an amazing app. I'm really excited to see, and it's still new, right? It's only a couple years old, so I think it's going to be exciting to see how you guys progress and what you do with the product and how it evolves, And I think, as I've been saying in social media leading up to today's episode, I really believe this is the future of what reporting looks like in our world. Really being able to use, as you said, natural language to query your data, because the biggest challenge a lot of us have as accountants is getting things into terms that our business owner clients understand. Not all of them have financial or accounting backgrounds, so we need to allow them even to be able to use simple language to get questions answered so that they can understand what's going on financially with their company. So I think this is huge along those lines.
They tell us that they want this information from their accountant and bookkeeper. Like even Chata is so easy. They want their accountant and bookkeeper talking to them about this and giving them advice. So I agree. This is the way it's going. So, and it's awesome. And I think it's more fun for everyone, right?
Yeah. Even if they get the reports, they may not necessarily understand it. So I think that's why you still need advisors to interpret the data for them.
Yeah. And Seth, before we go quickly, I'm going to follow up with an email to you if you can forward it off to your audience here today.
Absolutely.
We'll be offering anyone who wants to sort of dig into this a little bit deeper. Haley and I will meet with you offline for maybe a 15-minute to 30-minute phone call where we can help you connect your data sources. We call it the white glove onboarding service, and we can help you start querying based on your actual businesses that you work with.
That's my phone. I don't know what's going on.
I feel like I won the lottery.
Yeah. You won a prize.
So I'll follow up, and then if I'll have other things in that email.
Perfect. Yeah, and anything you want, we can post right on the, because this has gone live on the Facebook page as well as on the Between Wall and Main group, so that we can, I can post any information right there in the feed, so anybody who's looking for it can easily find it. And I'll email it out. Anybody who registers for these Zooms gets put onto my email list. Hopefully you're not a member of the European Union, or else I'm in trouble for doing that, because I didn't actually tell you that I was doing that when you signed up.
We actually have that law in Canada too, just so you know.
Yep. So anyway, so I will definitely make sure everybody who wants it can get the information. And of course, tell us how people can get in touch with you, Kari, so they can ask you follow-up questions and generally harass you online.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I should have that on my presentation here. So you can reach me at Kari@chata.ai. I'm totally fine if you call me too. 587-435-5274. Happy to hear from you. That's my Twitter handle if you want to ask questions there, and that's our Twitter account there as well for Chata.
Perfect. And also on the live Facebook feed, Alexa is asking, how do we get support? She says she's having issues. I guess she's already using the product.
You're already using it. Thank you. You would just go to, what's our support@chata.ai. So hang on one sec.
Okay, so email's the best way to go about getting support.
Also on Twitter is a great way. We have the Chata HQ_support. I'm on there all day long, so you can reach out there. And if you join our partner program, we'll add you to the Slack channel. I also monitor that as well. And then I've just provided my personal email. I am customer support/success. So reach out to me directly. Yeah.
All right, here's a funny question. So Chata doesn't have chat support?
No, we're in the process of implementing. Oh yeah. So yeah, no, we're absolutely gonna have in-app chat support. So stay tuned for that. For sure.
All right, so there's your answer, Alexa. Go to Twitter, ChataHQ_support or support@chata.ai, or, well, I guess that covers it, right?
Would that be live support or would that be AI support?
That's human support.
We have a phone number for our partners.
I'm sorry, I did not understand your request. Please try again.
It is live support. We also have a phone number for our partners. So if you join our partner program, you will get that phone number in the email follow-up. So, or you can just call me. I gave you my number.
All right, thank you so much, Kari and Haley. Great job in the chat.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
And next week, we're going to be
Have a
talking
nice weekend.
Google Docs, sharing and managing all your stuff, doing it the right way, because I'm learning that a lot of people are doing it the wrong way. So you'll find out what the wrong way is and how to fix it next week right here. Same nerd time, same nerd channel. Bye.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Bye.